Good morning. I'm Tiffany Wood, Chief of Public Affairs here at Fort Leonard Wood. Thank you for attending today's press conference. In a few moments, Major General Christopher Beck, Maneuver Support Center of Excellence and Fort Leonard Wood Commanding General, will make a brief statement concerning Sergeant Roque. Following his statement, Major General Beck will be available for about 10 minutes to answer your questions regarding this topic. Toward the end of the 10 minutes, I will indicate how many more questions we have time for. In order to ensure that as many of you have questions answered, please limit your questions to one and then a follow-up. If there's time permitting, we'll ask for additional questions. If you did not pick up a press packet on your way in, please do so on the way out. There's information that contains about Fort Leonard Wood and my contact information. Please silence all your cell phones and electronic devices. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, Major General Beck.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today. As was said, my name is Major General Christopher Beck. I'm the Commanding General of the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence in Fort Leonard Wood. With me today is my Command Sergeant Major Jorge Arzabala and Special Agent John McCabe, who is a Special Agent in charge of the Army's Criminal Investigation Mid-Central Field Office. On behalf of Fort Leonard Wood and the entire United States Army, we extend our deepest sympathies to the family, friends, and fellow soldiers of Sergeant Sarah Roque. The Fort Leonard Wood community is devastated by this tragic loss. Sarah was a soldier and a leader in the 5th Engineer Battalion, described by her peers as tough and proud of everything she did, and proud to serve our country, which she did with honor and distinction. As our team continues to mourn, please know that our focus remains on providing the care, support, and resources needed during this difficult time for the unit and, most importantly, the family. And we remain in constant communication with the family. With the effort put forth the past few days, I want to acknowledge the professional leadership of the unit, the Fort Leonard Wood team, and the Army's Criminal Investigation Division, as well as everyone who has worked tirelessly to respond quickly and appropriately to this tragedy. My objectives through this press conference is to provide an update on what happened, when it happened, and what we are doing now. The latest confirmed information I have regarding Sarah's death. On October 21st, Sarah was not present for her unit's morning formation. Her unit immediately started searching for her and notified the Fort Leonard Wood Directorate of Emergency Services and local law enforcement. Within 3 hours of Sarah being reported missing by her unit, the Fort Leonard Wood Department of Emergency Services issued a Be on the Lookout, or BOLO, report in the National Crime Information Center database. That notified all law enforcement agencies across the nation of a missing person. They also provided reports in the Army's law enforcement reporting and tracking system. Our Department of Emergency Services reached out to the Army Criminal Investigation Division for assistance. That afternoon, the installation stood up our crisis action team and asked for the public's help in locating Sarah. I can say without a doubt that Sarah's command team and the unit, as well as the rest of our team, used every resource available to locate Sarah. I commend the professionalism of the military and civilian workforce for their efforts and their ability to take appropriate action. Unfortunately, the outcome of our efforts was one that we had all hoped and prayed would not happen. Later that evening, Sarah's body was discovered. The Department of the Army Criminal Investigation Division is investigating her death as a potential homicide. They are working closely with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. We'll continue to provide information to our community as it becomes available. As I said, I have with me here today CID Special Agent John McCabe, who is here to provide a statement and answer any detailed questions regarding the investigation. I do want to reinforce 2 points prior to Mr. McCabe's, or Special Agent McCabe's, statement. The first, not only our local CID, but CID as an enterprise has descended upon Fort Leonard Wood with every resource we have asked for very professionally. The other thing I want to highlight is this is an ongoing investigation. While myself and Special Agent McCabe will answer any questions possible, there is a limit based on the ongoing investigation. So with that, Special Agent McCabe, please.
Thanks, sir. Good morning. My name is John McCabe. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the Department of the Army's Criminal Investigative Division Mid-Central Field Office. At this time, I'm going to provide a brief statement regarding CID's investigation into the death of Sergeant Sarah Roque. At the conclusion of my statement, I will take a few questions, but ask all in attendance to understand that the details which I am able to provide at this time will be limited due to the fact that this remains an active investigation. On the morning of October 21st, 2024, the Army CID Fort Leonard Wood resident agent was notified by the Fort Leonard Wood Military Police that Sergeant Roque had been reported missing following failure to arrive for duty that same morning, and that initial efforts to locate her were unsuccessful. Upon notification, Army CID joined the wide range of efforts underway to locate Sergeant Roque. In the evening hours of October 21st, CID was notified that a deceased body was located on Fort Leonard Wood. The deceased body was subsequently identified as Sergeant Roque. The Department of the Army CID is leading an independent criminal investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Sergeant Roque. Currently, Army CID considers this a potential homicide and is conducting its investigative efforts accordingly. We have surged additional CID personnel and resources to Fort Leonard Wood to assist with the investigative actions, forensic collections, and analysis, and other aspects of the investigation. The personnel include a cadre of forensic laboratory technicians from the U.S. Army Criminal Investigations Laboratory. Army CID would like to extend our deepest thoughts and sincerest condolences to Sergeant Roque's family, friends, colleagues, as well as our gratitude for the assistance of the garrison and our law enforcement partners. We are confident that those responsible for the death of Sergeant Roque will be brought to justice. In closing, we encourage those with any information to submit a tip to www.army.cid.mil. Thank you.
So with that, thank you, and we'll be happy to take a few questions.
Go ahead, Chris.
Is there any indication at this point in time that she had gone off post and brought somebody back on post? Or was she on here the night before that she went missing?
So I don't have any information on that, and Special Agent, I'll ask you to comment if you do as well, or if you do, but I think that's part of the ongoing investigation. What I will say is Command Sergeant Major and I had the opportunity to meet with her parents yesterday, and one of the things that they reinforced is she has maintained contact with them regularly up until this incident. So, but no, I don't know specifics about that, and nor do I know if you have any that you can add.
None that I could add at this time. We're not going to lay out a specific timeline at this point, just do the ongoing investigative efforts.
I mean, can you talk about where she was eventually found at? I mean, you say it was on post. Was it near the barracks? Was there a considerable distance that she was found? I mean, what kind of some of those basic details of how that all played out?
Okay, well, what I can say is her body was located in a dumpster adjacent to our single soldiers' quarters on the installation. Beyond that, I ask that I not comment further because of the ongoing investigation, but that was where her body was located.
Go.
Can you confirm, sir, that you do have a person in custody, and related to that, is there reason to believe the public is in any danger with a potential homicide person still out there?
So I'll take part of that question and then I'll turn it a little bit over to the Special Agent. So the first piece is, as the Special Agent stated, there are persons of interest. And I'll stop with that and I'll let him add if he's got any information. I appreciate you asking the question about safety. I will tell you point blank, and I've said this to our team, the Command Sergeant Major and I have reinforced this. Fort Leonard Wood is a safe place to live and work. This is an Army values-based installation, and we will remain that way. We have a strong command climate focused on engaged leadership that ensures that everyone is treated with dignity and respect. And that leadership, while we are not a perfect place, that strong leadership at every level that the Sergeant Major and I reinforce continually will maintain the values associated with this organization and what we deliver for the United States Army. So the bottom line is, yes, this is a safe place to live and work, and we appreciate the focus of both our internal assets and the CID assets to expeditiously and efficiently drive this to a resolution. So with that, let me ask Special Agent McCabe if he has any other pieces to that.
So at this point, we do have a person of interest. We are continuing to look at every investigative lead I can tell you at this point, efforts are made to make sure this individual does not pose any threat to the base or the community. And we are confident that there is no threat to the community or base personnel at this point. At any point where there were to be any kind of threat, we would definitely work with our partners, both in garrison as well as the base police, as well as local and state partners to make sure any threat might have been mitigated.
Gerald, did you have a follow-up?
If I may. Following up with regard to the person, there has been quite a bit of information released on her current primary military duties. Are you able to confirm that her additional duties included working as a sharp liaison? And is there any reason to believe that would be relevant to this case?
So I can't confirm that detail because I'm not aware of it. Not to say that we're hiding anything, and again, I'll ask you to please comment if you know. But I can tell you that those duties are not related to the investigation as they stand right now from an Army perspective. And let me ask if you have anything to add.
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll have further questions after others.
Okay.
Allison, did you have any questions?
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
I fully recognize the desire not to compromise ongoing investigations. Will the statement of being single soldiers' quarters, will there be any issue with compromising investigation if I were to state the body was found in a dumpster on Magnus Street, or would you prefer having it only stated single soldiers' quarters?
My ask would be adjacent to the single soldier quarters, just to ensure that we maintain the flexibility investigation moving forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris?
Person of interest, male, female, lower rank, higher rank? You got any details in this person of interest? And once again, go back to that whole thing, are they in custody?
So let me defer initially to Special Agent, and then I will address any additional pieces I have.
At this point, I'm just going to state person of interest. I don't want to give any descriptors, and we're allowing our investigation to continue on. Because in any investigation, you may have one person of interest. As the investigation continues on, other details may come about. So at this point, I cannot answer specifics to that question, and as far as, other stuff. But what was your follow-up question at the end?
The custody piece?
The custody piece.
Yes.
The person of interest is not in custody at this point.
Do you believe this person to be a military personnel?
That I can't answer as far as descriptor. Just, it would give too much away since that person is not in custody at this point.
And go back real quick, because I know you talked about, this is for him, sorry sir, but when you're talking about the additional resources that were brought in, can you touch base more on what those additional resources are that was brought in? I mean, you talked about bringing the forensics team in.
Yes.
You got the full support of CID, but what else has come into the area and onto post to help with this investigation?
Yes, we brought in numerous forensic laboratory technicians to process the scene directly. We also have a cadre of CID instructors that teach forensics on board Fort Leonard Wood. So all those resources, experts in their field in forensic science, are at our disposal working this. We also have folks from different field offices coming up to augment manpower. Since this is kicked off, we've been working this 24/7, so making sure we're applying the appropriate amount of manpower to it and resources. So anything in our investigative toolbox, we are applying to this.
And is there any indication that you guys can give on the actual cause of death? What was the manner in which she was deceased?
Yeah, at this point, I can't give any details as far as exact manner, cause of death. Still pending results of autopsy and the investigation.
Gerald,
Go ahead, sorry.
Gerald, did you have any questions?
I don't want to interrupt his line of question. I do have questions, but I don't want to interrupt his line of questioning.
My last in this line was she found in uniform or was she found in civilian clothing?
Right, that I can't answer.
Right.
Just because, obviously, along the lines of the timeline, if obviously uniform, not uniform would indicate time of when things happen.
Okay.
The one thing I would add, and this ties back to the safety of the installation question, well, as Special Agent McCabe said there's no one in custody. The unit has 100% accountability of all of their people, and everyone who is in any way related to this incident is properly secured for their own safety and the safety of others, depending upon how they fit in. So we are taking that very seriously, working with CID to ensure the safety of all.
And just so I understand, does that mean the unit is being held in quarters while this
No,
investigation?
the unit.
I just want to make sure I understand what that
No,
means.
the unit continues to train and deliver their mission. There are several people that we continue to just be sure that they are properly and safely secured.
I've got one more at the end.
Bureau?
Two questions that may be related. Obviously, this is the home of the military police school, and also you have significant numbers of people whose full-time job is here, who are civilian reserve officers who do a lot of off-post coordination. Can you describe a little bit about what you're doing using the MP school assets and off-post law enforcement assets to work with this in addition to what CID is doing?
So yes, so the special agent, as described, the enterprise for CID has absolutely provided significant resources to enable this investigation. That includes external federal resources as well. What we have done with the school is most of those individuals are instructors or students. But what we have done is leverage their expertise in certain niche areas just to be sure that we have provided support everywhere to CID as they conduct this investigation. None of the students, none of our police are in the lead. The CID is clearly in the lead, and what we have provided is resources that may assist them as they see fit.
It's been a long time since you've had an incident like this. What has it been, a year, 2 years since you've had a fatality on Fort Leonard Wood investigated as a homicide?
It's been quite a while since a homicide. I can't give you the exact timeline, but it's been quite a while.
You probably have time for one more question.
You got the gentleman standing here next to you. I just wanted to give both of you guys one more opportunity to speak on behalf of how you guys are feeling, how you're holding up, what this has been like for the unit and for everybody on post, in the past since this has all happened.
No, I appreciate that. I will let the Command Sergeant Major speak, but I'll speak personally. As a commander and a leader, this is a tragedy. This is something that we never want to happen. We never want for the family to have to endure or the unit to have to endure. So how are we feeling? Our heart goes out to these individuals, to the family. Our sincere condolences go out to the family. But the reality is we've got to lead and continue to move forward with our mission, and we will do that while we support CID and never fail to provide proper support and transparency to the family. So with that, Sergeant Major, anything to add?
Yeah, ultimately, we're very proud of our mission here for our United States Army and all the capabilities that we deliver. But we want to continue to make sure that the United States Army, is our solemn profession, and we want to continue to move forward and support CID in any efforts that they have to ensure that this can be brought to justice swiftly for the family and for all of us here, so that we can continue to do what we do here. But thank you very much.
So again, on behalf of Fort Leonard Wood and the entire United States Army, we are deeply saddened by this devastating loss. We send our deepest condolences to the family, friends, and fellow soldiers of Sergeant Sarah Roque. Sarah not only served our country bravely and honorably as a soldier, she was also a daughter, a sister, and a friend to many. The investigation remains a top priority for Fort Leonard Wood, and all agencies are cooperating to ensure that the investigation is thorough and complete. I'd like to reiterate, there is no immediate threat to the community at this time. Fort Leonard Wood remains a safe place to live and work. My commitment, our commitment, we will remain transparent moving forward while respecting the family's privacy. Thank you again for your participation today, and thank you for your support to Fort Leonard Wood.